Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Freakazoid podcast. Today is a very special episode. I have Strawberry here with me, and we are going to unpack and update you guys on the Scorpio's sugar daddy rebrand. Yes, you guys, the Scorpio is a rebranded sugar daddy now. He has a T set, and he is suddenly the man that we always wanted. Strawberry is the girl that he quote unquote changed for. And today we're going to talk about the way that he has adjusted his red pill strategy tactics to involve money. And if anybody here knows my lore and knows the past, this is like the antithesis to everything that he said that he was and would ever want to be in his life. He called men like this losers. So we're going to talk about how he went from I'll never settle down to how now he's offering something long-term and Colombian vacations. But before I keep going on to my spiel, Strawberry, go ahead and say hi to them.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here today and help teach the ladies about red flag.
I'm so excited to have her. Just so you guys know, Strawberry is a avid FDS, community member. She's super fluent in all the teachings and the readings. I don't know if you want to kind of expand into it.
Yeah, it's pretty much just all about helping women be safe in dating, not just physically, but also make dating a space where we can be our best selves and really focus on creating a life where our partners are supportive and really value us.
Period. And that's the theme for today's episode. And I'm going to bring her back for a second part of this episode too. So we're going to go more into red pill tactics, but this is the special edition bastard version Scorpio update. We have a lot of content planned for today, and we're so excited. We are not healing from this dude. Today's episode is an autopsy. We know that the Scorpio is going to hear this. We know that his coworkers are going to send him the link, and they're going to do it in the same group chat where they used to call me crazy. And we know that he's going to pretend to have a fake ass amnesia routine about how he doesn't remember it like that. We know he's going to listen to every single second and probably more than once too. But what he's not going to say is that this is his worst nightmare. Two women comparing notes, connecting the dots, and telling the unfiltered truth. This isn't a call out, it's a case study, and we're gonna launch into it. So for anybody who doesn't know the lore, who's brand new here today, my breakup era content is based off this man. Every episode kind of launches into who it is and how he impacted me. I met him in 2021 when I was fresh off my sugar era. Strawberry, when did you meet him?
I met him at the very end of 2023. It was in December, and I was coming out of a breakup. So I was just kind of looking to see who was out there, open to even kind of casual connections at the time. And she walked right into the picture.
Yeah, so same thing for me too. I was in a vulnerable place in my life where I was looking for someone to connect with. So I like to joke that men like this, they fly into your life like a roach who's opportunistic. Like the door is cracked and that's when they make their way in.
Mm-hmm.
When I had met him, I was very upfront that I don't like to date men who don't pay for stuff. I expect my men to at least treat me with respect or, holding open doors, being accommodating, being somebody who's mindful of my time and my boundaries. He was like, I don't have boundaries. I just want what I want when I want it. And I was like, oh, okay. Not my vibe. I'm still going to keep my boundaries, but I made space for him, in my life despite that, because I really wanted connection in my world. And the thing with him when he had found me is that he didn't need to be someone who was emotionally available, and he didn't even need to be financially available to me because I was already so willing to be in a relationship with someone like him. The relationship moved fast with him, and this is something that me and Strawberry have in common. For me, here's my timeline. We had our date number 1. I didn't go back home with him because he said that he doesn't like to fuck on the first date.
He has determined that is a lie.
By night number 2, we were, and this is not me for obviously not having my standards and my boundaries in place. And I feel like me and Strawberry were emphatically defending ourselves as we were sharing our stories to each other. Please, I have my reasons. But night number 2, we were making out in his bed, and that's when he told me he loved me. That's when he made a girlfriend out of me. Maybe night number 3 or 4, I let him have physical access to me. And by this point, I was wondering if everything that he was saying was true because I wanted it to be true so bad. I was like, maybe I'm just not letting myself be happy. Maybe I'm still guarded. Maybe this is remnants from my sugar baby mental illness. But it's no, this was him. This was my spidey senses were picking up on who he really was. Within that 1 week, I let him have physical access to me. He started flipping and flopping. Cue the episodes that everybody gets from 2021 until 2023, where I'm talking about about why men like this just won't leave you the fuck alone, because that was my deal with him. It was like he was trying to punish me for having the standards that I had financially about men. When I met him, his thing on Bumble was that he was unsure. What was it when you found him, Strawberry?
He was making it pretty clear he wanted to be like the world's most perfect boyfriend, and he wanted to wife me up. He was looking for a long-term relationship.
For me, when he met me, he was all about how he wasn't about one night stands, and he also told me that big boobs were Republican.
My 30 pet peeves are saying otherwise.
On top of that, he also was super performative with me. I remember making multiple episodes talking about how he would be this person who would refuse to open doors. Like, his whole thing was he would open doors for everybody around the building or like at establishments that we would walk into. But when it came to me, like the person sleeping with him in his bed, like that wasn't his vibe. What was he doing for you?
He was trying to do everything. I mean, for our first date, he called me an Uber to get to the bar. He made a really big deal about how he was going to be this perfect gentleman. I was never going to have to pay for anything. When we were at his place, he would like be shoving DoorDash in my face, being like, I'll order you anything that you want. If you're hungry, just order whatever. He was like really like making a big deal about that, and he was sending me like TikToks and a bunch of stuff talking about how men should pay for women and men who don't want to pay for women are probably gay. Yeah, exact opposite.
I have screenshots of him calling men like that losers. He's like, oh, they're trying to control the relationship with finances, like they're pathetic little bitches.
And I have screenshots of him sending me TikToks from that influencer, Christian Walker, who talks about how men who don't pay for women are literally gay.
It's so funny because I also have Christian Walker TikToks, but he was using them to try to debate me about 50-50.
No, he was telling me, I love this guy.
No way! He was literally like, his dad is running for something political. Do you know him? He was hating on him.
Oh my God. I mean, he mentioned the political aspect to me too, but he was sending me more and adding, oh my God, I love this guy and stuff like that.
That's crazy because I find him so grating and I find him to be kind of a grifter sometimes, but I like that he pushes the message.
Agreed.
Oh my God, with me, so he said that he would never be a marrying man. He was very vocal that he was going to be somebody who dies alone, old and fat, because his life purpose is to be working. He also was saying that he didn't have any personal goals for himself when it came to marriage. And when we would wake up after a sleepover, he would be scrolling on his phone, openly reading divorce statistics and reading them to me out loud. Like, he was really trying to get me to pick up what he was putting down.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. For me, so the day after our first date, he asked me if I was going to be open to a serious relationship with him. And then later that same day asked me if I was still talking to other guys because he was uncomfortable with that.
He moved in a very similar fashion with me too. When it came to the first week love bomb, my first week experience was him immediately asking, who am I talking to? Like, I'm not comfortable with having access to you if other men are also having access to you. Eventually that tune changed, but like, yeah, same thing with me. He was very nosy about who I was potentially seeing and trying to close it down quick. He was like, nope, I'm sure, I've seen enough. Like, I know what I like. I know what I want.
Wow. It's so performative.
It was very performative. Oh, on day one, he was handsy. Yeah, I know we both had that in common.
Yeah, the whole first date, we were at a bar and I had originally sat down at a table and he moved us over to a booth so he could sit right next to me. But it was not in like a cutesy way. Like, he like had his hands all over me. It was weird.
Yeah, for me, 15 minutes into our date, he was like, I just want to kiss you. And I let him.
He did kiss me when we left the bar and it was a rooftop, so we took an elevator down and he did kiss me in the elevator.
Ah, girl, he would try to get freaky with me in the elevator too. No, but okay, like, I'm gonna interrupt where we are right now. You have to talk about when you were like, who is this homeless man approaching me? Because you guys, she looked like an absolute diva doll for the date. And he was a crime.
So our first date was pretty spontaneous. So we had matched on Tinder that same day. I was open to whatever happened because I was in heartbreak mode. So I was like, whatever happens, happens tonight. So I'm at the bar. I'm looking super cute. I look way younger than my age. So I was like, right. I'm waiting for him. He's like 20 minutes late. And no one else is there because it's super, super rainy that day. And eventually this man walks in and I'm like, who let the homeless person in? Sorry, I know it's rude. That person out of house. And then he walks up to me and it was my date. It was the Scorpio.
Well, you know, it's okay because he's not actually homeless, right? He chooses to look this way. Like he has resources to take showers. He has a home. He has a job. Like this, it's his homeless aesthetic by choice. If anything, that's the insult. I was going to say it's an insult to the homeless community and to you.
I was actually seeing better dressed people who don't have a home. Like he has a nice place here. And he showed up to this day wearing like this Hanes t-shirt that's 5 sizes too small. And this like old phrase cardigan that's finally the part of the seams. It's also 5 sizes too small. Threadbare. We're like sitting on the date and he's picking at the like seams that are coming apart on his cardigan. It was not a good look.
Honey, no. So for me, like one of the reasons why I did go a little psycho very early on was because he was in his early 30s. I think he was like 30, 31 at the time. And he was very attractive. Say he looked like Hercules. Now, I know that he physically devolved. We're going to talk about why his physical devolution plays into this topic so that it doesn't sound like we're just beating on a man who let himself go. When I had reconnected with him in 2023, that was when I made the episode, Why Don't Men Let You Move On? Like, why don't they just let you move on? I also had the same similar experience of who is this homeless man approaching me. So when Strawberry said that to me, I was like, oh my God, same. Like, what an absolute fucking insult that I took my time to get ready and you showed up looking like you're my sugar daddy. Like, people used to stop us on the street and call us Barbie and Ken. That was a part of the fantasy for me. Like, I wanted to be Barbie and Ken. I got the man who screams Wilson. So he was super handsy with me on my first date. I remember we got into like a makeout session at the very end of it and some people were walking by and screaming Love Island because that was just what we looked like next to each other. But that's his thing, right? Is that like he moves quick, he moves fast, physically and emotionally. Here are some differences with me and Strawberry. She mentioned already that she was there to have like a casual experience. I was there for love. We both did not have good casual experiences with him though. If I could get down into it, like the down and the dirty, the man gives raspberries down south, okay? He was not an eater. It was tragic. And I never got to like actually get an O with him. Now, if anybody ever has, congratulations, but not me, babe.
I can confirm, not an eater, a raspberry giver, which is not a generous place to go. Which do not give me raspberry. Please. I vouch for everything.
On top of the mediocre casual experience that he gave me, mine was so mediocre in the love department as well. I would say that he was like very emotionally stunted. You can tell in the episode. We joke now that like, yes, we're calling him Scorpio today, but eventually he becomes the homeless Harambe. We'll get into that devolution. It was within three to 6 months that him working and being this person who shows up to work for 12 hours a day was showing in his physical neglect. But he continued to be this person who would challenge me about not going 50-50 with him or not paying for myself or even not paying for the dates. He would get very quiet and he would get kind of like an attitude, but he told me that like he wasn't being strategic with me. He was so emphatic that like all the things that I was saying about him were wrong. He wanted to come on my podcast and say his story. And then he also wanted to fight with my followers in the comment section. Now, Strawberry, what did he tell you about his strategy brain?
He is very proud of his strategy brain. At his place, has the book, The 48 Laws of Power, which, like, by the way, I do fuck with that book, but I think that men who read it and are very proud of it and want to show it off to women are more than questionable, to say the least. And he referred to himself as a master strategist.
which could also be code for master manipulator if you want to give them their flowers. But he's not getting those flowers today because he really isn't what he thinks he is. His game is very repetitive and predictable, and we'll get into that later on in the episode for how you guys can spot the pattern. My entire relationship with him was him being like how he's never going to be a provider. He even told me at one point that me wanting men who provide is always going to put me in a situation where I never have true love and I never have a relationship. The gag is that with Strawberry, that was the man that he went on to pretend to be. Or I don't know, because she never really got to see it through all the way. She picked up on the red flags so fast. I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah, so he definitely tried to portray a different persona with me. Like you just said, our experience or my experience with him was a lot shorter because I picked up on the red flags and I had already been through a major red flag situation before. So when I started seeing him doing all this, like, insulting me, but also, like, trying to, like, agree with me on everything, I was like, I know he's being manipulative. So I cut it off after. So funny. We only talked for about a week and a half, but there is so much content because he tried to accelerate it so quickly. So he was not sending me 50-50 girl stuff. He was sending me, like I said, the Christian Walker stuff about men paying for everything. And also, just things about relationships and relationship dynamics in general, specifically like power dynamics in relationships. Like he wanted to talk about, this is so funny, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and how like their relationship works because they're on the same level financially. And the Simone Biles thing was also going on at the same time, where her husband went on that podcast and like said that he was the prize. So Scorpio was sending me stuff about that, talking about like, oh, haha, she's so funny, like, what a loser. So very different tune with me. The big thing that did it for me though was he sent me this podcast where these podcast bros said that men should date sevens because a seven has the looks of an eight, but not the confidence. So she thinks that she still needs you. And my red flag or my red pill alarm went off in my head. And I knew like, okay, he's like trying, this is negging. This is like, he's trying to like play a power hand here. I was done at that point.
Also, by the way, bitch, the fact that he would even insinuate that she's a seven, you guys, Strawberry is a certified baddie addy. And I know it's only going to be uphill for her from here, but like, it was audacious considering that he's a three. He's barely holding on to a five. And that's because money is gluing him there. Money and Jesus. But yeah, like for me, and now I'll segue into these tactics that he used on the both of us. One of the things that he did to kind of like lure me in this early vulnerable state that I was in was that he pretended like he could see me. And one of the things that he did to say that he could see me was pointing out that like I live these very compartmentalized lives. Now, at the time I was sugaring, I had my online persona, and then there was the person who I was on dates. I don't think that was a secret or that was hard to pick apart and tell. So it was like, yeah, okay, thank you, Nicholas Copernicus. But he went on to tell me that like I had talent and I was going to get 1 million followers one day and he could see me making it and that I was going to be this big deal. And for me, like, that's kind of what made me feel seen. And that was what I felt like when we had our first off moment. That was what I felt like, oh, I lost someone who believed in me. I lost someone who loved me. Like, I've just been sugaring. I don't know if I'm going to feel seen like this because I don't let people see me like this. So it really felt like I lost something of substance there.
I have the best story for this. Okay, so we were still technically on our first date. It was after the bar. I did go back to his place with him. And after he had finished making me his fancy tea from his tea collection with his expensive Chinese tea set while jamming out to Drake. Yes, all that happened. So we were watching a movie. And he's trying to make me feel seen, I guess, on our first date. But like, I see myself, I don't need a random man to see me. So it didn't really work. But what he was saying was, Strawberry, I feel like you, the idea of being a strong woman, like you are a strong woman, you are, but you like the idea of it. And I think that you're just so stressed all the time that you never really show people who you are. You just want to be a strong woman.
Oh my God. Corny. So corny. And then I think he complimented you on your independence too, right? Like he was saying something about you being strong. The red flags of dust.
Like, he was trying to act like I'm this like hyper independent, strong woman, which I mean, like, I guess I am. But he was making it sound like I needed him to like come into my life and fill the emotional void that probably created. Which like, the scary thing is like I guess he did kind of clock it in a way. I think he was able to quickly clock potential vulnerabilities in both of us, which is what makes it like not just he's playing games, but like this was an intentional power move on his part too.
Yeah, so red pill tactic for this dude. When I was telling you guys that this man says that like he has no boundaries, he doesn't do boundaries, like, yeah, he's gonna speed run the relationship. What we had is these experiences that were like maybe days, but it feels like months and years. And it really wasn't. It's just the fact that he moves so quickly. You can only move quickly like that when you are creating faux intimacy. I mean, you can create faux intimacy through physical contact and moving quickly in a physical manner, but like you can also do that through the intimate conversations that you like to pretend that you're having with someone else. I really don't think that it's too hard to pick up these things about somebody like Strawberry, given her background, and somebody like myself, given the fact that it's so public and out in the open. So this like seeing you thing, make sure that you see yourself before you're going out on a date. Like, make sure that you at least have any type of concept about who you are, because by the time a man is saying that he can see you, it's just like, yeah, like, I agree. Like, and what about it? Oh, he would try to debate us both. That was something that I thought was really weird. Like, so for me, I have screenshots on screenshots. I don't know if I'll post any of them as like video content for this, but he was always trying to debate me and change me. So I feel like you do see this theme between the two of us where like, with me, he was trying to debate and change me into being a 50-50 woman. With her, he was eventually going to, he starts off acting like he's going to soften your life and take the weight off your shoulders. But it seems like the direction that it was going in was that he was going to make you settle for somebody who was going to talk bad about you.
Yeah, exactly. The topics he was trying to debate me on, they weren't relationship related, but they were very clearly like he was trying to position himself as more knowledgeable and authoritative than me on topics that I specialize in, and I specialize in them because of a very like high powered education that most people don't have access to. And like you have to go through a rigorous academic program to be able to do what I do. And he was like doing research on this topic and sending it to me and trying to debate me and tell me that things I had told him were wrong. And I'd be like, well, no, actually, it's like this. And he'd be like, oh, never mind, you're right. Because I am right, and you can't learn it without going to school for it. But he was committed to trying to look smarter than me. And that, I mean, if you're not secure enough as a person, then you might start to kind of give into that. But fortunately, I did not buy it at all. I was done.
Yeah, he did try to make me think that I needed rescuing and saving from myself, or like I didn't fully understand things, which by the way, I'm okay with admitting that I don't know something. I have no shame in turning to somebody smarter than me or asking for help. But his entire thing was positioning himself and his age and maybe even like his career as something to like make me feel like I wasn't going to be safe with myself. I was going to cause harm to myself, or that like I was going to go down the hole if I didn't make the decisions that he was trying to tell me to do. Which at the time, like, and oh my God, we have to get into what he's telling women about me, like without dropping my name. At the time, like, he was giving me career advice. I kind of talked about this in the past, but he was telling me that like I should have been asking for more money with one of my first big girl jobs, which by the way, I was on a contract role. It would have been part-time. It made sense for part-time, and it did leave me open to make a lot of content and to get external income. So at the time, the decision did make sense for me because I was just landing right out of life. Like I wasn't going to move into the penthouse suite right away with my first big girl job. And I was doing everything on 30 days notice. So I honestly think what I did was incredible given the time span. And then the fact that like within 1 year, I was able to get out of the hood. Like I earned that shit all by myself, and it would have happened with or without him. But he made me think that that was something that was never going to be a possibility for me. So now we have to talk about how when he met you, one of the things that he opened up with was his past relationship, which, by the way, you guys, wait, before I let you tell that part, I want to make it so abundantly clear. The Scorpio knew me like for 2 years. Like that's when we were actively maybe communicating. He knew me for 2 years and he was blocked for 18 months. We maybe saw each other over the course of 6 individual months, and it would only be 1 day a week. I say this to say that we did not have a 2-year relationship. And honestly, like if it was 2 consistent years at the time, I would have fucking loved that, but it wasn't. So now go ahead. I'll let Strawberry take the mic.
All right, thanks, girl. Still on this first date, and we're sitting in the empty bar while he's being creepy and handsy, but he wants to like have kind of normal first date topic of conversation, honestly. He asked me about my past relationships, and I was just like, super, super vague and sassy about it. And I asked him, and he said that he had one ex-girlfriend and that they were together for 2 years and that she really loved her. And this is the creepy part. Like, I was buying it. Like, he was like actor of the year, give this man an Oscar. I totally bought it. And my red flag alarms usually go off really loud when a man is talking about their ex. But he did such a good job with this little tale. I could see like the regret in his eyes. He like lowered his tone. He seemed respectful. He didn't call her crazy or anything like that. But he said that she had severe mental health issues and that he tried really, really hard to help her because he loved her so much and that he was trying to connect her with therapy resources and connect her with therapists that she could see. And she refused to get help. And he had this little spiel about how you can love someone, but at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do. They have to help themselves. So he had to leave her.
Girl, he must have been talking about his mother because what the heliante? Yeah, no, he was the reason I needed mental health resources. I ended up becoming a mental health resource channel because of him. And yeah, obviously that was not the tea. Actually would have loved some actual therapist if that was a real thing. If his therapist was Andrew Tate as a TikTok, maybe that's what he's talking about. Maybe the resources were the 50-50 TikToks. No, he spent those 2 years making my life very tumultuous emotionally. And I think this is the part where it's like, this wasn't just a dude who was using red pill tactics. Like, this is a con man. For the last 2 years, this man has been running around DC, looking into women's soul, rebranding himself as this heartbroken, shattered person who had a mentally ill ex-girlfriend, which, by the way, even prior to me, he didn't have a long relationship. Like, he told me his longest relationship was 6 months, and he called this girl the girl that always cried. In retrospect, probably because she was crying because of him. And he said that, like, she was this girl who would clean his apartment, leave him money, give him roses. She was making it rain on him. I know I didn't tell you this part. I'm so sorry. It's coming to me now. Yeah, so, like, he was making it seem like this was a woman who was doing a lot for him, didn't even really care. Like, he was making her cry all the time. And it lasted for about 6 months. And I was like, that's weird. That's a red flag. Like, I think I went on to talk about it online too, about how that's a red flag. So I don't know if he like decided to claim a 2-year lover because he picked up on that for himself. But like, that's the thing, was that like the red flag takeaway for everybody in the chat, because the Golden Deceiver did this too. The story about a crazy woman without saying crazy, like they've picked up on that. Oh my God, he kept asking you to stay the night. Girl, same here. On week number 1, we basically, like, I was in his apartment every single day.
Guys, he did not want me to leave his place. He really, really wanted me to stay. And that's also when, because the day after our first date, he was going to Colombia. I don't know if that's been mentioned yet. I think you mentioned he's offering Colombian vacations, and that's where this comes in.
Yes.
He leaves his place, and he literally, like, 6 hours later, had a flight to Colombia, and he was like, Strawberry, come to Colombia with me. And I said no, and he offered to pay for me. He said, Strawberry, if it's money, I'll pay for you. I'll pay for everything. And I still declined the vacation to Colombia, but he was very clingy. Like, he really, really, really did not want me to leave.
So I want to talk about the on and off thing that he did with me, because you said that there was a name for that.
Oh, dread gaming.
Dread gaming. Okay, so this is a term that everybody needs to look up. Can you explain it a little bit?
Yeah, so it is a red pill strategy that they use, where basically it's one off and on, which I think off and on dynamics can happen in, non-red pill toxic relationships very easily as well. But it's something that red pill men will use intentionally to manipulate and keep someone in the picture, but keep them not just in the picture, but emotionally dependent on them, basically, or they'll kind of like use the like potential promise of commitment and deep emotional investment, but also intentionally pull back in such a way that you're not sure when you're going to hear from them next. You're not sure if you're going to hear from them again at all. And then they might come back and love bomb you again. And it's not just an emotionally immature person doing this, it's someone doing it strategically.
Yeah, so with me, and I think this was the reason why he even had so many episodes made about him, it was because like I was very blatant, like, if you don't want a serious relationship with me, like, I don't want to talk to you, don't talk to me unless you've changed. Every time he would try to escape the block, he would come back bigger and more in love and more ready to date me, until eventually it's like talking about marriage. And then he would fuck, and then he would ghost, rinse, wash, repeat, would try to do it to me once a month. By the third month of him doing this to me, I had him on block. Cue him being on block on and off for like the next 18 months, because this was his game with me that I very quickly was able to kind of like determine, but I didn't have a name for it. Now, the Scorpio is very well aware that he just needs to call somebody his girlfriend if he wants them to do something. I don't know if you want to even touch on that. I know it's hot tea, but it was like the moment that shattered everything for me.
I'm glad that moment, that revelation, can help bring you more closure. So yeah, in the bedroom, there were things that he asked to do that I did not want to do, and he said, "Do I need to make you my girlfriend?"
And that's the last final words, like before the screen goes black.
No, it was not. It's a performance. And the only reason I kept talking to him for a week after that was because he was just coming on so strong. And like some of my friends were like, "Well, you might get princess treatment. Like, you might be what it's all about." But it's just that question. It just goes to show that this was also intentional and informative from him. There was no soul connection. Like, he's just trying to get an ego boost.
Yeah, and the main thing with me and her, the difference is like the control. Like I brought this up in the beginning, but like financial control over her emotions. With me, he just wanted emotional control. Like, he was getting such a kick off the fact that I was making content and that these things were turning into reactionary pieces that can make him feel like, oh, I'm making a woman go crazy. Like, I'm getting revenge on women who I guess are quote unquote gold diggers. Like, I guess he was like having some type of revenge porn fantasy with someone like me, when with Strawberry, he was having let me woo you, I guess. Like, I don't know, what would you even call it?
Trying to woo me. Like, with after the first date, he was researching like restaurants that he was gonna take me on our next date when he got back from Colombia. He was trying to like personalize it and like find my favorite kind of food. He was like asking me a lot of questions about myself that like pulled me into thinking like he was trying to develop this, even though I saw through it pretty quickly. I don't know. I caught on that it was manipulation, but I felt pretty wooed.
I felt super rude too, and I also felt the manipulation, but I was telling myself I was being like crazy for not just trusting it and not letting him move forward with me emotionally. Oh my God, I want to talk about the way that he looks, because it's such a large part of this. Because yeah, you guys, he just completely physically devolved. I would say, like, I don't even want to put a number to it, but he openly started taking roids. Well, I guess he didn't want me to share that part. He told me not to tell people, but like he has the Joe Rogan turtle shell belly now. I guess he hasn't gone shopping because his clothes look like he bought them still from like 2019 when he was like in his 20-year-old form. His clothes look skin tight. I remember that being a thing too, was that like his pants turned into leggings, his joggers turned into leggings. And he just like became this person who I think had nothing more to physically offer or something emotionally to offer. Like he just became this person who was throwing strategy and rehearsed mental lines at women. My timer's going off for the last 10 minutes. I mean, I feel like we touched it all.
Our goal was to talk about like not just the situation, but the red flags and how to spot them. And I think we hit the nail on the head.
I think so too. Somebody said it was the incel fantasy. Yeah, incel fantasy for sure. And
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Should we talk about his dating app activity?
Please, because this is a part of the rebrand too, you guys. I think this just goes to show like he does feel shame about who he turned into a little bit.
So I'm still in the local area to him, and I still regularly see him on Hinge and Bumble. He tries to like me or swipe right every single time. It's been like maybe 4 or 5 times now since 2023, so like a year and a half. And he does lie about his age, and I did notice that the first time I met him too, because it had just been his birthday the month prior, and the birthday cards in his apartment had a different age than his age on Tinder. And to this day, the last time he liked me on a dating app was last month, and the age was the same that he had in 2023.
Bitch, it's been 2 years. That's crazy. That's so weird because to me, like, I just think every time a man is leading with a lie like that, like they're hiding something or they don't want to be identifiable. And the fact that he thinks that 1 year is going to make a difference for him is crazy.
And it's not even the age, too. He's still a catfish. He looked like a completely different person than his pictures. He still had pictures up that he had from
when he matched with me. Yeah. And when he matched with me, even those were still like 6 months old at the time, which is fine. That's healthy. But after 2 years, I was thinking to myself too, I was like, he's gaining weight. He doesn't look like his photos anymore. Is he going to become a catfish? Like, I thought that would be hilarious revenge in my head. But now I'm like, oh my God, baby, he's victimizing women. He's victimizing women and he's conning and lying to them about me and having this 2-year relationship that he's not capable of.
No. And to this day, even last month when I saw him on Bumble, the pictures are still the same. They're the exact same pictures and the same prompts.
Yeah, his prompts actually did not change either when I looked at the screenshots that were available. I don't want to get too specific now, but it's these things that tell you nothing about him. Nothing at all. Like you wouldn't gather a single personality trait. The only thing that changed on his profile from me to Strawberry was him saying that he wants a long-term relationship. I don't even know where to take this part of the story now. It's just the way that he rebranded his tactics. Like, did this guy become better, right? Did he become the man who's suddenly giving somebody else everything that I want? I think he's just not victimizing women by trying to make them financially exploit themselves. Maybe he knows that women in DC have a little bit more return on value when it comes to him fulfilling his dream of being a man who gets to play with his Legos all day while his wife goes to work. But I think that like he something happened from here to that, from here, like from me to you. And I don't think it was me teaching him a lesson. I think he just had to update his mask because so much of his script is the same.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he's tried to rebrand into what social media is saying right now is the dream man, like emphasizing paying for everything and all that stuff. I think he's just trying to use whatever mask he thinks will be the more effective.
And I think what's so fucked ass up, like, and this is one of the reasons why I'm banging on this drum, but like he told me how unlovable that made me and how I was never gonna find true love and that like that's unrealistic for me to want from someone. And now here he is doing it. So looking back on those episodes, it's like, bitch, I was right all along. And clearly he knew it too. Either that or like I was ahead of my time for him and he was hoping that it wasn't going to become the popular thing, because I guess in 2021 maybe the thing was see how low you can go, which I think actually was tea at that time. Like we were all trying to become comfortable with prioritizing ourselves and not accepting low effort dates, which is why that whole dating realm got a big boom online during the online renaissance of content.
Oh, we did it.
Yeah, we did it, Joe. Yeah. Oh my God. And I think this is just like the happiest ending. Because now he's the sugar daddy. I got my apartment. I'm 30 and fabulous. Strawberry is fabulous. She's about to have an even more fabulous existence. He clearly has a type. He goes for strong, personalitied women who are like fast, witty. Like I get a storytelling vibe from him, and I think like he wants someone who's gonna look good on his arm, or somebody that he can eventually live off of. Because that was my thing with me too, was that he wanted to be a 70-30 dude eventually, with me being the 70 and him being the 30. Also, wait. He also said that he would leave me if I ever got sick. He was very vocal about leaving a sick wife if he ever got into that situation. Yeah, that was the first too. I was like, why would you talk about that? Like, has something prepared you in this life? Why are you so like adamant about that? We did it. Episode out. I hope for anyone who, somebody in the chat says that's most men. Yeah, I agree. I've heard that. I hope that this episode can at least bring a little bit of comfort and clarity to women who feel like this man got better, like on you. Like maybe, he changed for the next one. He's giving the next one everything that they wanted. Maybe, I think for me, by the time he had left my city, he knew that he was very identifiable. Women had apparently identified him based off his behavior and his books. Wait, I'm seeing someone in the chat. I don't want to be around once his realization hits that he ain't shit and he ain't never no authentic love and affection. You know? I think he realized that by the very end when I finally had my last goodbye with him, which was me telling him, like, if you, like, first of all, he never loved me. I need to make that clear, right? Because the way that he looked into Strawberry's eyes with pain and regret, he didn't love me, because the last time that I saw him, I told him I love you. He couldn't say it back. I screamed at him, if you don't love me, you need to leave me the fuck alone. And that's when he fucked off for good. And then he took himself into his fucking moving truck to DC, and I never saw him again, and I never heard from him again. That was our last moment. I promise you this man did not love me, and I didn't miss out on anything, and I promise you that men like this do not get better. So I'll close it here so we can move on to the next topic. Goddamn, we did it for 47 minutes. I'm so sorry, Strawberry.
I love it.
Me too. Strawberry, do you want to plug anything, or do you want to have any clopeners?
Oh, I'm totally good. Nothing to plug. Just really, really happy to talk about red flags. It's something I'm super passionate about. I want all women to have healthy relationships where their partners are honest, to say the least, and actually love them. So hopefully this helped.
Thank you so much. And you did such a good job. That's the end of the episode, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Strawberry is coming back for a special edition on red pill tactics that men do in 2025. Why red pill men chase liberal leftist women. Specifically, men who are Republican are men who consume red meat content. Thank you guys for hopping in. Follow me everywhere. I'm trying to grow my followers. I am Fleeksy on every single channel. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I'm Fleeksy on every single channel. Make sure that you guys give this podcast a 5-star rating, because it does support Fleeksy supremacy and it pushes me into the algorithm. If you guys are able to leave a comment, make sure to leave something nice, because I do check those out and I want to know what you guys think about an episode like this. And if you were here for the first half of 2021 and you're still here in 2025 and you're here for the update, I need to know what you think about it, because to me this shit was fucking rich. All right, everybody, we're going to hop off this one and we're going to move on to the next episode topic. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you later. Bye.